Hey, welcome back, and we'll find out what that flood is all about, hopefully. It should recede, right? Otherwise we can't get any more guests. Oh, Hex, how did you arrive? What? Grace, is Grace here? Oh, wait. Of course she is. Good mythical morning to you too, Hex. How did you arrive? This isn't funny, innkeeper. Tell me, is she here? Please tell me she's here. She is. I'll let her know you are too. Thank you. By the dragons, I was worried sick. So sick. She'd be happy to know you're safe and sound too. The flood was enormous, and if she had gotten caught up in it. Oh, no. I don't want to even begin to imagine. Then don't. She is safe. How about a drink to calm your nerves? Yes, a drink sounds great. Something that will untangle my thoughts and help me focus. I see what I can do. Let's see. Oh, we have a good one here. Brain. This should be alright. Wait, what kind of infusion was it again? Thunder Sage? Yes. Okay. There you go. Perfect. Silent Owl. Maybe this will clear your mind. It does, at least a little bit. Thank you, innkeeper. Hex! Good to see you safe and well. You too. Where have you been? Are you alright? Did you get hurt? I'm fine. And the innkeeper and yesterday's superstars took good care of me. Who? Just as you took good care of us. The least we could have done was be there for each other. How have you been, brother dear? Did you get hurt? I know, but I was worried about you. The whole night, locked in a damned house. All I could think about was how the flood might have... Well, the flood is still here. Why didn't you tell me you were going to the tavern? I looked everywhere for you. Oh, sorry, I didn't know I need your permission to go outside. And that's not what I'm trying to say. Oh, don't argue. Then what are you trying to say? That you could have gotten hurt, and I wouldn't have known. I don't expect a tsunami to hit Gaia every day. That wasn't in the foreseeable future, Hexy. Uncontrollable things might happen, and when they do, we do our best to overcome them. Also, I can protect myself quite well. Still, how was I supposed to know that you were safe? I am an adult, you know. You could try by trusting in my capabilities. Furthermore, PSAOR was very useful last semester. What? PSAOR? Protective sigils and other remedies. Ah. Also, the tavern itself is well protected by my own brand of sigil. That's at least something. Yes, I'm very thankful the innkeeper and the tavern kept me safe. I didn't mean to worry you. I didn't plan on being gone for so long, but then the flood happened. Okay, sure. How have you been holding up? Is the house alright? Apart from some minor damage, some leakage in the roof, I suppose it's fine. I wasn't even aware of the approaching flood until the house foundation started trembling. I was busy in my workshop, harvesting the essence of Dimension 567 for my research. I hope you didn't rip a hole in a fiber of magic again. I didn't. Even if I did, you couldn't have stopped me. You weren't there after all. Right. But I can scold you now. You won't want to when you find out I actually managed to harvest something. You did. That's amazing. What a huge breakthrough. That would mean I created a teeny tiny rift to the astral realm and got my hands on some stardust. Well, sort of. How? I got an astral shard when the stars fell. Ah, I see. There's still the issue of never knowing exactly what might come through when you open these kinds of rifts. Could be anything, or anyone. Like creatures. For example? That wouldn't be good. Yeah, it wouldn't. Because when your sister disappears again, you don't know if she got eaten by a creature or is just out for a stroll. Hex, cut it out. What? We get it, alright? I went away, you were worried. We get it. But I'm my own person and I can do what I like. I'm getting tired of this. Well, me too. Then stop. I don't want to fight. Then don't. Sorry. It's fine. We shouldn't spend our time fighting when there are so many more interesting things going on. How about a wee bit of distraction? Oh! We could go outside and see if we can take samples of the floodwater. Exactly. Who knows? Maybe it holds spectacular and rare magical properties. That sounds lit. Maybe it will help me finish my long-term research project. Possibly. Though to access the primordial vortex, you'd need primordial seawater, I know. But who knows what we'll find? Don't forget to fill me in on your research. Theopractically, I would tell you anything, but only theopractically. Wouldn't have expected anything else. Thank you, Innkeeper, for hosting me tonight and all. See you soon. Bye bye. Don't argue again. Hey guys, good morning you two. Did you sleep well? As well as we could with the sweet song of stormy waves pattering against our windows. So very well, and with inspiring dreams. Glad to hear that. Your impromptu concert certainly helped me sleep. Because it was so boring? No, because it calmed my nerves. All of our nerves, I think. Not that I have any. You don't have nerves? Is that a phantasmal thing? No. I meant those metaphorical nerves. Oh, you get those too? No, of course not. I am Voy. Well, yeah, sometimes. Mostly when I have to perform. Isn't that embarrassing? Not really. That would also make me nervous. Oh, although I have to say, last night, performing with you for Grace and the Innkeeper, it was kind of relaxing. I could just lose myself in the performance without having to worry about what anyone will think of me. Hey. Clicked on the wrong side again. Not that I ever do, but it was nice. We should make more music together sometimes. Actually, Fable just got started on a new song. Maybe you can collaborate. Really? That would be awesome. Well, I actually... Yes, you're right. That would be awesome. I think working on it together could be fun. Roar! Yeah! Oh, sorry, hooray! I'm looking forward to a great collaboration. And charming you with it, Innkeeper? Alright. You're supposed to say you're also looking forward to it. Alright, I indulge you. I'm very much looking forward to it. That's what I thought. Aren't we gonna be cool together? The coolest. Too cool for me to describe. I already know we'll blow you away. I'm counting on it. Enough chit-chat. I should check up on the village. Maybe someone needs a good song to cheer them up. How? It's still flooding outside. I'm sure Baya would love one. I think Baya was probably cheered up by a good flood. But speaking of her, maybe you can hand out some of her spa coupons for me. Sure thing. The spell rocks. Oh yeah, you were there. I shall start by enlightening Grace. Is she still here? No, she just left, together with Hex. Something about primordial water. Those wizards. I'll try to catch up to them. See you soon. Don't finish the song without me, Fable. I'll wait for you. And they're gone. Can I get one of those coupons? Sure you can. Just make sure to tell Baya I sent you. Of course. What a strange morning. Or exciting morning? Both, I think. Would you like a morning drink? Please. A swift strike again? Of course. She doesn't even have to mention it. We just know. There it is. A drink with the 0 primordial water. Maybe. It does taste a little primordial and very delicious. Perfect. You know, last night, when I couldn't sleep, I was watching the fish swimming by the windows. The scales kept reflecting in the water, making them shift and shimmer like they almost weren't there. I was mesmerized by them. It was like a dream that kept pulling me towards the waves. It was beautiful and haunting. Do you think it looks like that every day somewhere? Sure does. That beautiful. That haunting. Oh. I think any place we can imagine exists somewhere, if only in our heads. I'd like to see all of those places. I don't think they're all safe to see. Oh, Lynn! Oh, and how do you want to be called today? Fable, by the dragons, they're here. Are you alright? I am. Didn't keep Kipton safe. It's good to see you both are well too. Couldn't you have let us know you were breathing? We couldn't find you anywhere. I'm sorry, I just woke up. Were you guys worried about me? Maybe. Oh, Kumo. Well, of course we were. Don't even know if you can swim. I can. Can you? Of course. No? No, Lynn. Oh, we should teach you sometime. Sure. Thank you for worrying about me, but I actually had a pretty nice night. Roy and I gave Grace and the innkeeper a small concert while we were stuck inside. Oh, said that we missed that. I can track down Void to give you guys an encore. That would be nice. I'm sorry I didn't get around to picking you up. It's okay. I bet the roads were a bit busy. Yeah, it was a little tough getting out. It still is. Guys, look outside. How did you come here? Rufus loved it though. Think he made some new friends. You let him out? Seems like this catastrophe had some pleasant side effects. What happened anyway? Did a whale eat a moon this time? No idea what's that's supposed to mean, but no. Or maybe, no idea how it happened. They say the primordial sea flooded the Twilight Chasm. And it all spilled out through its portals into Fissor, leaving us with this mess. That's new. At least the other continents probably got through it without much trouble. For once they can be less jealous of our portals. I do hope everyone is okay. Everyone we could check on is. Luckily for us, the water's drained enough to rescue everyone around here. Though I heard the underwater hasn't emerged yet. What? Happy to see you all emerged? Mostly. Mostly? What? What does that mean? Are you still looking for someone? Yes. I was worrying if Melly is here. Oh no. She wasn't home when I checked on her. No, she didn't stop by yesterday, nor today. Did you see her before that? Did you say where she would be going? I'm afraid she hasn't been in since you returned from Zofort. That wizard punk hasn't seen her either. Took a second to ask him when he almost broke down Kumo's door looking for Grace. Do we know if she can swim? I'm sure she can, and I'm sure she's just taking shelter elsewhere. How are you supposed to swim in a tsunami, though? You taught her how to hide well, after all. Maybe she's just putting that to good use. When I returned yesterday, I found Rufus eating out of a strange apparatus that dispenses food and water every couple hours. Like someone really smart set it up for him in the absence? Yes, he was gorging himself on some food when Melly was nowhere to be found. Oh, that's worrying. Did she leave a note? No. Uh-oh. I'm sure she's okay. Maybe ask Una. She probably put her up to something. I shall investigate that avenue right now. Fable, would you be okay with moving our time? Time? You got an appointment or something? More like a date. Ta-da! Can't wait for that story. I'll tell you later. But yes, we should move it. This isn't the kind of dancing in the rain I was hoping for. Me neither. Another time then. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Me too. I hope she didn't try to investigate the fish. They would eat her alive. Sounds a little more hopeful. The girl's savvy. I mean, look at that contraption she left behind. And no fish got a chance against her. Being hopeful isn't really my thing. Then make it your thing. I'll let you know when I find her. Oh, trouble ahead. Such a man of few words. A man of beep words. Calm down, Lynn. He's just worried. Uh-huh. Speaking of worries and words, Lynn, it's good to finally see you back. How was the escorting? I hope you didn't get too wet. Sure was something. Certainly have had enough of snowability for a while. Got any more details for me? Well, a drink? Actually, this can wait a bit, right? Sure. Thanks for understanding. I'll be back later, once I can think more clearly. I'd like to check up on Uncle Dragon, make sure that old father's still up and running. Fable, I'm guessing you'd like to check in with the family too? Yes, I would love to make sure everyone's alright. Maybe Maddie's with the Amaranthine Hydra. Amaranthine. She really want to ask it for tea recommendations? I'm counting on you returning with a good story. Will do. Got a good one for ya. I'll see if I can drag Rhea and Fancy Pants along as well. Think they could use a drink. Speaking of which, got one for the road? Sure thing. Something strong to get you through all that socializing? You got it. Let's go. Southern Brawler. Where is it? There it is. One of this and one of this. Perfect. There you go. For the road. Here, the strongest thing I could brew up for you. Thanks. Missed these drinks a little. Oh, that's sweet. Don't dwell on it. Anyway, Fable, let's go. I'll be right there. I'm sure everybody will be okay in Keeper, so don't you worry about it. And make sure to keep a hot chocolate warm for Melly. I'm sure she'd love one of those. I give it my best. I know you will. Don't swim out too far. We see. The waters are dangerous these days. Just what are you up to? Time to make sure I have enough ingredients for hot chocolate around, I guess. How do they open the door? Una! Good to see that you're open and keep. And a good evening to you too, Una. Ha! Spare me the babbling. But I'm glad you seem to be unharmed. I am, thanks to some protective spells I put on the inn a while back. Works better than any insurance. What about you? Are you unharmed? I'm as good as new. Might be missing an arm, but that doesn't mean I forgot how to swim. It's easier than walking, actually. And breathing in water instead of air was unexpectedly nice. These skills aren't just for decorative purposes. Felt a little bit like home, you know? But the water tasted different than that of the Astral Sea. More, primordial, I might even say. Yeah, I figured. But you don't seem to be very worried about it. Nah, whatever happens is none of my business. I'm retired! Again. And water also doesn't bother me. Shouldn't bother you too much either, am I right? Since you're so close to... I knew you wouldn't forget. I might be old, but I'm not senile. Me neither. So you wouldn't call the Primordial Sea your home, then? I've inhabited a few planes already. My past doesn't define the word home for me anymore. But you're right, primordial water doesn't do any harm to me. Even if I wanted to drown in it, I wouldn't be able to. But honestly, I was more worried about my patrons and the inn itself. I hope everyone is safe and well. Ah, clicked on the wrong thing again. I wouldn't worry too much about all your regulars. Adventurers are tough folk, and your drinks toughen them up even further. I have faith that you're right. But your tavern? Well, let's just say it has definitely seen better days. Nah, that's kind of an understatement. Looks like beep. Aw, don't be mean. Ouch. I've been working the whole day to clean up as much as I can. My condolences. Condolences. Sorry. Say, have you ever talked to the Wizard of Mornia? No? Sadly, I haven't had the pleasure. Oh, you should if you get the chance. He's always loved all kinds of spells and enchantments. Well, if he comes by, I'll ask. More of the kind involving trickery, like puzzles and traps, but I'm sure he also knows a protective spell or two. I mean, he's been protecting his wizard tower for quite some time now. Uh-oh. Didn't Melina want to go? No, someone want to go to a wizard tower? Was it Grace? I keep that in mind if I ever get to meet him. But I suppose you're not just here to talk. How about a drink? Ha! You definitely have a way with customer service. How about a drink that will wake my old muscles up so I can help you tidy up your tavern afterwards? I can't quite remember having asked for help. What's that? My old ears suddenly can't understand what you're saying. How unfortunate. Maybe a strong drink would help. Alright, coming right up. And another southern brawler. You. There you go. Hope that's strong enough for you. There you go, a drink powerful like the Astral Sea. Wonderful. I consumed enough primordial water to last me weeks. And it doesn't taste exactly like home, but the hint of elemental magic revived some old memories. I gotta say, you definitely know your craft. Thank you. Could I maybe convince you to just relax and let me do my work? You'd like that, wouldn't you? Forget it. Let's clean this messy tavern. If you insist. Before I forget. All that water swept some animal remains into my pockets. What? Don't really know where they came from, and I don't feel any kind of astral energy coming from them. So I assume they're either Gaia or primordial. Before I step myself with them while cleaning, I wanted to check if you had any use for them. Bones. Step? Yeah, they're surprisingly sharp. Now I'm curious, let me see. Ha! You're so easy. Thank you, Nah. They might not be primordial, but I think I know just what to do with them. Wait, infusion? It's an infusion? It's not fake, it's a saber fang. Gives haste. Okay. Ew. Gonna spice up some drinks? Maybe. Can't wait to try them then. And now let's spice up this old rusty tavern. Oh no, what will happen to it? Rhea! Oh, you're all back. Time to tell your story, I guess. Hi, Innkeep. Rhea. Innkeep. Lynn. Greetings, Innkeeper. Hello, Archie. Finally came to tell you the tales of tales. I told you I would be back with a good one, didn't I? Indeed. It's a thrilling story, be certain. That being said, you look like you got some thrilling stories to tell yourself. None thrill me as much as yours will. Well, grant me one question still. Shoot. Who's that granny on your roof? An old friend of mine. She's helping me tidy up the tavern after the flood. The flood is still going on, guys. She's a really nice friend then. I suppose so. I didn't know she was on the roof. A lot of tiles missing. Half of them. About a quarter. Just a few, actually. That's not particularly conclusive, but I trust Yuna and her abilities. Sometimes. Closing your eyes is the reason you'll run into the edge of a blade someday. Or not, if I'm lucky. If. Did the flood hit you as well? You bet. Had to hold on to Rhea for a quick second there, or else she would have been swept away like a trick. Ah, thought you wish. What? Thought you wished? We just passed Themis when it happened. Luckily, there were 2 carriages nearby, wedged between sturdy trees and a large boulder. We managed to pull ourselves out of the raging waters and into the carriages. Thank the dragons, it could have gone south real quick. And your tavern looks a wee bit wet as well. It is. I've been working non-stop to clean it up. That's not good. Working non-stop comes with being self-employed. No. I mean a flood. Never heard of a flood that's massive. It spread all the way from Themis to Zenith. You're right. We certainly aren't that close to the sea. Themis maybe, but not Yurn. So still very recent. We'll have to wait until we know the true extent of it. Back to your story. How was the journey to Dyria? How did you manage with the flood? The journey to Dyria itself was uneventful, but venturing to the Dyrian capital all the more so. As for the flood, it didn't really bother us until we arrived on the mainland. I think we should tell the story chronologically. That might make it a bit easier to digest. Thank you, Archie. Alright then, go ahead. Me? Yeah, you're good at telling stories after all. You think so? Aye. Alright, so listen closely, for what's about to unfold is a story as terrifying as it is heroic. Here we go. It was midnight, and the moon was standing high when the 3 adventurers assembled at a meeting point. Didn't know we were taking this carrot here along. Was a surprise. A pleasant one, I hope. No. Having one party member more than anticipated was at least more pleasant than the surprises that lay ahead. Now I am intrigued. So, accustomed to the pleasant surprise, we ventured to Theodore's abode in Themis. Very fancy. Very expensive. Don't think I've ever seen such a posh bit before. 3 stories tall. For one person. To be fair, one person and a lot of staff. Like cooks, maids and a gardener. For a holiday residence. Even worse. I'd very much appreciate it if we didn't judge people based on the amount of wealth. Or the lack thereof. Exactly. So you arrived at this holiday residence in Themis. Right. We approached the gates and rang the bell. The fog was creeping up around the house like it was pressuring us to go in. A man in a black suit opened the gate and with a deep and raspy voice said, "State your business, please." Some sort of butler told him, "Listen up, clown, you are our business." Which wasn't very polite. No one asked you. Maybe you should have. Then they wouldn't have thought we were bandits. Well, we got it cleared up, didn't we? Because I introduced myself quickly when I saw some guards already approaching. I introduced myself as Gustav Archibald Richmond III. Knowing my family and the childhood friendship that Theo and I have fostered for over 2 decades, the butler relaxed and let us through. You know what's funny in Keep? What? The other lad was also a third. Born in the same generation, both the third of our names. Perhaps that's why we were destined to be friends, just like our fathers and their fathers were. Theodore Hugo Frederick Sinclair III is his full name. But no one called him that. We called him Theodore. Or Theo. Either way, we had rung him out of his sleep, so he wasn't all that amused to see us. Then he laid us eyes upon ya, Ginger. Never seen a gaze light up so fast. What do you mean? That he was happy to see her, that's all. Oh, well, I'm also always happy to see him. So when we caught sight of each other, all violent tensions were blown away. And others were created. I found our visit very peaceful. Yeah, he was a polite lad. Offered us tea and biscuits while we waited for him to pack his things. Not a fan of tea? No. Just a method to bribe you, that's all. Get him on your good side, then throw you off a cliff. I'd like to disagree. Hospitality is not bribing. Also, no one threw you off the cliff. Metaphorically. He is the reason we almost died, though. Yeah, you don't need to blame the customer. Incidents like that are the reason they need help. Right. It will all make sense when we get there. So, after Theo packed us the things, we made our way to Windmore at sunrise. From there, we took a ship. A brig, just for us. A whole crew for a diplomat. Safety is important for a politician. The food was great, to say the least. At least. Where to take the ship, as you might be aware, Innkeeper, the bridge connecting Dyria and the mainland was destroyed. I recall. So the ship we took brought us to Twinborough and not to Amasa itself. Why was that? Apparently the debris from the bridge is a safe hazard for passing ships. And if there was one thing we didn't need, it was a distress at sea. We were lucky with the weather, the sea stayed calm, and even with a thunderstorm right behind us. The mood on the ship was jolly. Theo entertained us with stories of old. Oh, he's a great storyteller. I wonder where he gets all those thrilling narratives from. Actually, I suppose he still reads a lot. We used to read together when we were younger. We'd read the same book, but always one chapter at a time before giving it to the other to read the same chapter. That way, it felt as though we were reading together. Couldn't he have bought the same book? He was always so imaginative, still is. So we weren't bored a bit when we reached shore. Again? You're not so bad yourself with your stories, lad. I'm glad you like them. Alright. Already working on a story about you too. The claw of Erove and the hammer of Justice Thunder? Rear Frostgrip. The hammer of thunder? No. Rear Frostgrip. The hammer of thunderous strikes. Keep working on it, yet. You're getting there. The story, can we continue? Of course. We arrived at Twinborough in the late afternoon. The sun was already setting on the horizon, tinting the world in colors of purple. At that point, none of us could have imagined the world would be tinted in red soon enough. Red like the sunrise or red like blood? We got off the ship after a short break in Twinborough. We made our way to Amasa. We got about 2/3 of the way there without any issues until the darkness settled around us. Type of darkness that creeps up on you like an eerie mist. Type of darkness that chokes all noise out of the world. You know something's going on if you hear nothing. No birds, no crickets, no wind. Just that silence. Didn't even realize it until Cal pulled me aside and pointed it out. Just as I was explaining it to her, my ears perked up. Far away, I heard some low humming sounds. Didn't hear them myself. I thought you were making it up. Imagine noises in the dark to make up for the absence of light. Sometimes the brain does things like that. It was so silent, except for that humming. Started getting this weird feeling in my guts. Like a sixth sense? Like that, yeah. Don't know if it's the genes or the experience, but at some point you start feeling when something shifts and things end as they should be. Gotcha. Either way, I hear the humming and it's not long before it turns into a growling. That's when I heard it too, deep and guttural. I saw silhouettes in the woods left and right. Their eyes reflected our torchlight eerily. I held it closer to Theo to protect him. Soon we were surrounded by a knot of zombies. A lot of them, everywhere. They were moaning and groaning and so ready to feast on us. I grasped Theo's hand because I had to hold onto something. Had to act fast. They'd already seen us and were surrounding us, so running away wasn't an option. Clearly we had to fight our way through, so I readied my sword. It wasn't far to Amasa. I felt sturdy as a rock, like nothing could harm me. I needed to ensure the same for Rhea, Archie and Theodore. So I reached to the powers of your drink. The woman stopped walking abruptly while these beasts were approaching us. I had rimmed my hammer just in case. I heard her mumble words I didn't understand. Enhanced by that citron you put in our drinks, I called upon my barber asking for guidance. I've never had much business with the dragons, but she had. I hope if I reached out she could lend me some of that. I never felt so close to her before. Not even when I spoke to that chimera. The zombies approached, pressing closer to our dim torchlight, when suddenly a sheet of light burst out of her sword, engulfing us, and pushing the zombies away in an eruption of divine force. It was a light of radiant gold all around us, shimmering softly. I didn't waste any more time and kept going. Honestly, I barely know what I did myself. It's all a haze. Luckily, it seems the undead are like pack animals, at least for the most part. Cut off the leader, or what? Made all the slashing a bit easier. She pushed forward, cutting through the zombies, and one by one, the rest of us at her heels. But it seemed like a bottomless pit, and more came rushing towards us. The traveling shield blocked most of them, but eventually it began to crack. Fair enough. After a bunch of steady forceful impacts, anything breaks. But I made sure to push the undead back with my hammer. Meanwhile, Theodore seemed scared. He told me he wished this was just another assassination attempt instead. At least then the foes would have been alive. I was just as terrified, but I did my best to keep him safe. And then he tripped and fell. I tried to catch him, but he pulled me down with him. Carolyn was so focused on getting through the ambush that she pressed on. We fell behind, leaving the shimmering shield's presence. Darkness enclosed us, and we caught the attention of the zombies, who began cornering us. I couldn't let us die, so I called out for Rhea. By then, I had already noticed they were gone. So I called out to Carolyn and headed back to the lads. I smashed everyone that dared to come close, and Archie, well, I didn't know you had it in you, lad. Well, it was out of necessity. What happened? One of the zombies grabbed Theo's leg and attempted to drag him away from me. But I got up and drew my rapier and poked the thing right through the eye. It dropped to the ground like a wet towel. Fascinating. A little. When I heard Rhea, I heard around. They were all by themselves in the distance, almost dying because someone didn't watch their feet. Easy, Car. Accidents happen. Accidents kill people. Obviously, I couldn't let that happen, so I rushed back. We lost all of our previous advantages, more came flooding in by the second. Not wanting to waste any more time, I pulled Theodore up by his collar and threw him over my shoulder. I wasn't risking any more accidents. Of course, he didn't like that. Later he said it was invading his personal space. I told him I could have let him die instead. Which maybe wasn't the right response, I guess. Shortly afterwards, we reached the gates of Amasa. The guards came to our aid and helped ward off the zombies. Callan set Theo down and I helped him inside the safe borders of the city. The horrors were over. Thanks to Callan and Rhea, we had reached our destination. And to you, kid. Yeah, suppose you didn't do too bad of a job. He was beyond thankful. Even though he wasn't amused by being thrown over Calvin's shoulder, he understood that she saved his life. He was so impressed that he said it would make for a great story. He even started on a first draft. But after the fight, he felt really inspired to solve the conflict between Diria and the mainland. So, he'll probably have no time to finish it, and he decided to give the manuscript to me. He said he always liked it when I told him stories, and that he'd love to hear this tale in my words. I promised him I'd write something up for the next time we see each other. Still a better love story than that one romance book. You mean the one with the vampires? Twilight? Yeah. I doubt this is going to be a love story. Was talking about you two lovebirds. Me and Theo? We're just friends. Sure you are. Either way, we brought him to his destination in the city, had some tea, and started making our way back by noon. We checked out some tourist traps. Their tricks don't work if you know what you're up against. I bought a mug. You sure did. But I already have more than enough mugs at home, so give it to me. I wanted you to have it, so you always remember our heroic adventure. I would love to. I'm an avid keepsake collector. Where does it go? Splendid! Oh, there it is. Oh, I can't look at it. Anyway, afterwards we had some tea and made our way back by noon. Once we arrived back on the mainland, the flood hit like it had been waiting for us. I can still feel the cold water clinging to my bones. Speaking of, I freshened up a bit. I still have mud in my shoes. And then maybe I continue with the rest of the story. Of course, take your time. There's still more to the story? No, it's just us. Indeed. That kid is so green behind the ears. Weren't we all? Huh. Now if either of you drink. After a journey like this one, I could use something that tastes like rocks and regenerates my stamina. Coming right up. Tastes like rocks? Steel tonic? A steel close enough to rock? Well, we go with the steel tonic and citron. One of this and another one of this. There you go. Thanks, Innkeep. Much needed. You're welcome. Here, let's talk about your extraordinary fighting skills. Gotta say, I was really impressed with how you decimated those zombies. Takes a good beast slayer to know one. Nah, I'm not the general fighting type, you know. I think I can always appreciate two strong hands. And such a well-crafted greatsword on top of that. Happy to see you appreciated my solid craftsmanship. It was a gift from my Baba. She told me the Great Dragons himself gifted it to her, but I don't know if that's true. Have you ever heard of the Great Axe of Ur? The most powerful weapon ever, forged by the origin of this world themselves. You're bad. You think it really exists? I mean, my Baba loves to tell stories. But if a sword was made by the dragons, maybe Ur's Great Axe is also more than just a myth. Dwarves have their origins in the subterranean caves, you know, on the plane of Ur. I grew up in a labyrinth of caves, surrounded by gems and ores, legends and tales. I mean, I haven't seen it with my own two eyes yet, but I'm convinced a legendary weapon exists. I bet it's so large I probably wouldn't even recognize it as an axe. I've heard keeps it in a resting place at all times. Yeah, though so far no one has found that yet. And hopefully no one ever has to. What do you mean? You know the tale. Someone was to wake up. The apocalypse would begin. Yep, but that's just an old tale, right? Something you tell kids that don't want to eat their food. You know? Eat up or Earl will awaken. Questionable parenting techniques, if you ask me. Yeah, I got to hear that a few times when I was still a wee bairn. All those tales ever did was make me want to craft a legendary weapon myself. Have you ever made something like it? Not yet, but I will soon. I'll make the greatest weapon ever forged and smash this year's ore-hard blacksmithing competition to bits. I outcraft my ex-husband with ease, that piece of... beep. Ex-husband. Ooh. Ex-husband, yeah. My reaction exactly. We used to work together, now he claims I wouldn't stand a chance without him. But I'll prove him wrong. Anyway, and keep care. I think it's getting quite late and it's been an exhausting week. Absolutely agreed. Let's get some rest. And then look for another quest elsewhere to afford me crafting materials. Good night, you two. Good night, Lynn. Night and keep. And they're all gone. Oh, that's it for today. I couldn't really tell the time of day because of the flood. Alright, then that's it for today. And the flood is gone. Yay! And all my tiles are still there. Except this big hole. Wouldn't it flood? Well, it didn't, so that's alright. I'll see you next time then. Bye bye.